My name is Boaz. I am a student on FRC Team 4776, S.C.O.T.S. In this video, I am going to walk through how to set up the new Vivid Hosting VH-109 radios for the 2025 season. I have also posted on Chief Delphi, but for the more visual learners, I'm setting up a video. Just unboxing them. You will need two for this setup if you want to utilize the 6 gigahertz connectivity. And you will need to update the firmware to the latest after unboxing these. So you've got two of them. One of them will be connected to your robot. That will be the robot radio. So we're gonna label that. So we've got the robot radio, which will be powered off of your PDH and connected up to the Rio. And then you're going to have your access point radio, which will be connected up to your driver station. You will not need the access point radio at competition. This is just for your at-home practice. Alright, first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to take your robot radio and you are going to power it off of your PDH. So there's these little 12 volt input wires. There are a couple other ways that you can power it. You can power it over PoE, but just for this video, I'm going to be running it off the power ports here. So once you give it power, and you take an Ethernet cable to connect it up to the RoboRio. You're going to plug that into the Rio port, that's right here. Then you're going to want to turn your robot on. So what you're going to see on startup is you're going to see the little power light. You're going to see this system light, which just went off. There it goes. You're going to see this light down here, which is the Rio light. And then these two lights right here are for a network, which isn't configured yet. So we're going to set that down. We're going to take another Ethernet cable. And we're going to plug this from your laptop into the driver station port on your radio. This is for configuration. All right, and then once you have that connected, you're going to on your computer, you're going to hit the Windows key and the R key. You're going to type in ncpa.cpl, hit enter. This is going to take you to your network connections. You're going to see your Ethernet adapter. It's going to tell you unidentified network. You're going to want to right click on this and hit properties. You're going to want to double click on Internet Protocol version 4. And then it should be right now set up to obtain an IP address automatically, obtain your DNS server automatically. You're going to want to change it to use the following IP address. This will also change down here. Your IP address is going to be 192.168.69.2. Your subnet mask is going to be, as soon as you click in here, it's going to autofill with 255.255.255.0. You're going to leave your default gateway, your preferred DNS server, and your alternate DNS server blank. Click OK, and then click OK again. And then from there, you're going to want to go and install the Vivid Hosting Network Assistant tool. So on their website, frc-radio.vivid-hosting.net, they have a tab down here for the Network Assistant tool. And this walks you through all the installation. It gives you the file to install it. I already have it installed on here. You're going to want to right-click on it and run as an administrator. It's going to ask you if you want to allow it to make changes. You'll click yes. Then this is the window that you're going to pop up. So you're going to click the drop-down box and click Ethernet. Click Configure. Alright, it's going to tell you configuration successful. If it doesn't, you will want to check that your cable works and that it's plugged in properly. Click OK, and then you're going to want to check the radio status. So it tells me team number 0, status active, it's in mode Team Robot Radio, and it also tells me the software version. So we're on 1.0 right now. I'm going to click OK, and then it's going to ask if we want to open the configuration page. This is how we're going to assign it its team number, and this is how we're going to set it up with the access point radio. So we're going to click yes on that. It's going to take us to 192.168.69.1/configuration. For the robot radio, we're going to put it in robot radio mode. You're going to assign your team number, in our case 4776 for S.C.O.T.S. WPA key, let's just set that to S.C.O.T.S for now. Even if you're only using the 6 GHz connection, it will still want you to put a WPA key for the 2.4 GHz connection, which is configurable with a switch on the bottom of the radio. Alright, once your configuration has been applied, you have the option for a firmware upload, and you are going to need to do this to be able to participate in competition. On Vivid Hosting's website, when you go to their main page, it tells you that they must be updated to at least 1.2.6. So what you'll do is you will scroll down along here, and you'll see this firmware releases tab. Tap on that. You're going to scroll down a little bit. There are two versions for upgrading. One of them is for radios that are on a version prior to 1.2.0. There's another one for radios that are currently at 1.2, like 1.2.0, 1.2.x, 1.2.2, that kind of thing. For this radio, because it's on 1.0, we're going to be using this one. If you've previously updated your radio, you're going to want to use this. We're going to take the radio variant, we're going to tap on this, that will download. And then this key right here, you're going to want to copy. Come over to your configuration page, click Choose File, and you've got your configuration right here. And this is for 1.2.7. They did release a new firmware update. And then the checksum, which is what we just copied, we're going to paste that in. And this will be different for each software version. You're going to click Upload. You've got a little loading icon right down here. Takes a second. Alright, new firmware received and will be applied now. The radio will reboot several times. So if you look at it, you've got rapid blinking on your system light. The radio will reboot several times. Once your system light goes back to slowly blinking, you will know that your software update is complete. It's going to go solid. You'll see this little blue network light come on. Then it'll lose and regain connection to the Rio. That means it is rebooted. We've got rapid blinking again, so it'll do this a couple times. Alright, so now we are back to the slowly blinking system light. that means that your firmware upgrade has been completed. So from a configuration standpoint, you are fully set up on your robot radio. Then what you can do is, if you go back to, if you want to verify that your system is up to date, that it's gotten all your configuration, go back and run the Network Assistant tool. Go back through, select Ethernet. Check the radio status. Alright, so this has not taken the configuration. It's good that we checked. And it looks like after updating, it will take, you will have to reconfigure it. So after you've updated, you will need to go back and reconfigure. So you've got your team number in here, you've got your WPA key. So in this case, we're putting S.C.O.T.S. Another thing that I forgot to mention previously is this SSID suffix. What this is you can append this to your network name, and it's just, if you have multiple radios set up, if you have multiple robots, you could put in -A, -B kind of thing. So those networks will show up as FRC-4776-A, or -B, or -test, whatever you want to enter. These are completely optional. You don't have to do this. However, if you do this, you have to make sure that it is the same on your robot radio and your access point radio. We're going to send this configuration again. Alright, then, once that has been configured, you're going to go back. We're going to recheck that to make sure that the configuration has been applied. Now what we have is team number 4776. We are active, it's in the team robot radio mode, and we are on version 1.2.7, which as of this recording is the latest version. So now, I would not like to open the configuration page because we are fully configured on the robot radio. Now what you're going to do is your driver station, you're going to disconnect that from the radio. You're going to leave it connected up to your RoboRio and to your power. Then you're going to take your access point radio, and this will need to be powered off of a 12-volt PoE switch. This is the one from West Coast Products. You can find it on their website on the same page that you find the VH-109 radio. You are going to take this. This is how you're going to power your access point. You can't power it off of your computer. Because it just can't. You need more power. So you're going to take an Ethernet. Once this is plugged in, you should see a red light. You're going to take it and put it in, plug into the PoE port, not the LAN port. Just set that on the ground. And then on your access point, you're going to plug into the Rio port. This is only to give power. As you can see, the power light, the system light, the network light come on, and the Rio light. That's just what it does on startup. From there, you're going to plug into your driver station port to connect. You will leave all of, so you're going to, and then you will repeat the process of configuring. Right-click on your network assistant tool, run as administrator. You also can just reload that configuration page. The good thing to do with this is it makes sure it double checks that you are actually connected to this. It just helps with troubleshooting. So team number 0, status active, mode team robot radio, and we are in version 1.0 again. Yes, I would like to open the configuration page. And notice that this is the same, 192.168.69.1/configuration. We're going to do this a little bit differently. You're going to select access point mode, then configure your team number, 4776, S.C.O.T.S, and so you notice there's only WPA key for 6 gigahertz connection. That is because when you're setting it up as an access point, it's going to use the 6 gigahertz. You can connect directly to the robot radio with your 2.4 gigahertz, but it will use 6 gigahertz when you set up 2 VH-109 radios. Wi-Fi channel selection, this is completely optional. You don't have to set a specific channel. If you leave it blank, it will do that configuration on its own. Then you're going to click configure, so you get the success. And then, so this is access point mode. If you notice on their website, they have an access point variant. They have a whole warning right here. You only need to use the access point variant if you have more than one robot that you're going to use at a time. This access point variant is for emulating what the FMS does. If you're just using the one radio, you still use your radio variant of your software. And since I already have this downloaded, just going to recopy that just in case. I'm going to go back to our page, choose the file. It is the same firmware file that you chose for your robot radio. Paste in the checksum. Click upload. Got your little loading icon down there. New firmware received and will be applied now. The radio will reboot several times. So if you look at the access point, you've got the same situation that you had with the robot radio with the rapidly blinking system light. And you're just going to see it reboot a few times. Alright, now that your access point has finished rebooting, that means your firmware update is complete. We're going to do the same thing that we did just to double check the configuration. Configure over Ethernet. And check the radio status. Did the same thing again, team number 0, but we are up to date. So we're going to go back to our configuration page, add in our team number, switch to access point mode, because it will pull up in robot radio mode, add our team number, add the optional suffix. Remember, if you configured a suffix for the robot radio, you will need to put that exact same thing in for your access point radio. Your WPA key, we're going to set to S.C.O.T.S. Wi-Fi channel. If you selected a channel previously, do that. Otherwise, just leave it blank. It will automatically configure. I'm going to click on the configuration. And now what you're going to see on the access point configuration is you're going to see connectivity statistics. Because now it has realized that there is a robot radio that it can control. So it's going to take a few minutes. Now what we see linked is true. We see the MAC address of the radio that we're linked to. We have bandwidth usage and we have receive rate. We have connection quality, which the connection quality is interesting because if you look at your LEDs, first off, you can see that there is a blue network button. Not button, LED. The access point has no connection to the Rio. The robot radio has connection to the Rio. Your connection quality will be higher if the sides with the LEDs are facing each other. So if you come back and look at my computer screen, if I turn the radio away, move it away, apparently it's still excellent connection quality, probably because there's not much Wi-Fi stuff in here. But you can see that actually disconnected. Because I went and took it behind my back, I turned it away, it's flickering, and our receive rate went down. I take it back, set it down, LEDs are facing each other, that should go back up. Once you have verified connectivity from your robot radio to your access point radio, you are going to go back into your network connections. If you didn't leave this open, remember it's the Windows R and then ncpa.cpl. Then click Enter. That will launch this page. You're going to right-click on your Ethernet adapter, click on Properties, double-click on Internet Protocol version 4, and then you're going to say 10. And then these middle two will be your team number, in our case, 47.76, and then this final one needs to be configured to .5. Your subnet mask stays the same, 255.255.255.0, and then default gateway stays blank, preferred and alternate DNS servers stay blank. Click OK, click OK again, and now from here, you're going to launch your driver station. Now you can see that I have communications with the robot. To check your diagnostics, you have this tab over here. I have my Ethernet as 10.47.76.5. I have connection with the robot radio, and I have connection with the robot on 10.47.76.2. The IP address for your RoboRio, in our case, is 10.47.76.1. The robot radio is .2. The access point is .4. Your computer will be configured to .5, as shown right here. And then, from here, you are all set up. You can start using your... from here, you are all set up. You can start using your robot wirelessly.